need to know what is the impact of drought on a different sector in monetary terms, where in locations, what is the impact, and to arrive at that, this is the framework which have been put forward. It also tells you the approach and methods and tools which have been applied for the drought risk management. How do you move from a deterministic approach to a probabilistic approach so that you are able to forecast and see if a drought of 1 in 20 years event or 1 in 100 year events may happen this year or next year, where is the risk concentrated? What is the government should plan in terms of either food supplies, in terms of relief, in terms of looking how the trade and movement can happen? All that can be done. So therefore, it's a long-term management of impact of drought risk assessment framework, which have been put together. In the slide, you see 10 methods approach, how you really can put this forward. The report has all the details. It helps you to move from direct impact of drought also to have an indirect impact of drought assessment, which is just not the primary sector. It also looks into the secondary and tertiary sectors, because all the impact of droughts are non-structural, right, in nature. It's very important, therefore, to bring that. The framework also brings the way the catastrophic risk, rapid drought risk, the rapid flood risk or cyclone risk, which have been already assessed with established methods into this framework, so that we can move on a longer path to have the assessment of drought well before the drought hits the ground. Over to you, Frederick.
Thank you, Satya. And what we try to do really is to give an inspiration and a bit of a structure on how costing can be organized and how the economic argument can be built as a drought plan is being developed, as a drought policy is being developed, in order to convince those that need to be convinced in order to take the necessary action. So it's really aimed to be a guidance for moving from the reactive approach that we see in practice to a proactive approach that uses the methodologies that are commonly used of how to establish a drought plan and tries to add to it the economic argument that can be used to convince. It's a working paper, and that means we want to work with it. We want to work with countries. Throughout, we see examples, and we've highlighted some examples where bits and pieces, where parts of it have been applied, but comprehensively, it has not been done yet. So we're publishing this working paper in order to work together with country, test it, guide it, trying to improve it further, and we look forward to your inputs and your reflections on this working paper as you're grappling with the question of how to make the case politically using the economic argument alongside the social and the environmental argument that can be made for a more proactive approach to drought risk management. And so this brings us to the end of this publication launch session, and I have the great pleasure to invite you for coffee outside to continue the conversation on these publications and forward. And then I'm looking forward to see you back here at 3:30, where we'll start with the next session. Thank you for your attention. 3:30.